So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Based Edge podcast. It is 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one or two announcements. But before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and like this video, share it with your friends and family. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts, please also subscribe on there too. We are back and we are changing things a little bit this year. We are going to be only doing a podcast once a month because myself and my co-host, who, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my co-host, Mork Rock.
Yay! Hi, Joe. Back in 2024.
Yeah, man.
Jesus. This year started off with a bang. Oh my God. There's so much stuff. I don't even know how we're going to cover all of it.
We're probably not, but we're going to try to. And there's a lot to talk about already in 2024. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to also check out our YouTube channels linked in the description below, as well as the Based Edge podcast social media links are in the description below as well. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are changing things up this year. Unfortunately, we're only able to do one episode a month because, like I said, co-host and I are very busy guys. We have day jobs and busy with other things. But we love the show so much. We hope you guys do too, and look forward to catching us once a month. Hopefully the first Sunday of the month, we'll be having a new episode every month. So you should be seeing this in February. So it's the month of love.
Yeah, love. Also, we can now tell all the grifters that we're not 100% grifting. We're only part-time grifters.
Yeah, that's also true. All right, so let's like you said, we've got a lot to cover.
It's so much.
We're still in the first month at the time of recording this.
Yeah,
we're still in the first month of 2024, and already so much has happened. But we're gonna start local. For those of you who may not know or remember. Dricus De Plessis won the middle heavyweight championship of UFC, making sports history by being the first by being the first South African to do so. Yay!
Yeah, go sports. I mean, that's amazing.
That's
honestly amazing. I mean, listen, I don't watch a lot of sports. The first image I saw this morning, it was yesterday morning. I saw this image of Siya Kolisi and this like guy, and I was like, oh, cool, they won rugby again. And I was like, I wasn't sure what was going on. And then I was like, oh, it's MMA. Oh, silly eye.
Yeah. I know the image you're talking about. It's the one with I think Kolisi's at the top and De Plessis at the bottom. But yeah, no.
His name is Dricus.
Yeah, Dricus. This is Afrikaans. No,
very, bro. Very. It's Dutch as fuck.
It's the kind of Afrikaner who looks at the braai and it lights up. You know, he snorts the blitz. That's how Afrikaans he is.
Yeah, he just looks at it, bro. Like he goes, "Hey," and then it lights. Fuck me.
So no, listen, I'm a fan of Dricus. I mean, I'm not a big UFC fan, but I like Dricus. Dricus seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But of course, South Africans, look, I'm going to say this right off the bat. Majority of South Africans loved that he won. Obviously, he made history and there was a lot of support and praise and all that stuff. But there were a few South Africans that were not happy that this guy won. And a video started circulating. I'm going to show the video, or we're going to play the video first, and then we'll talk after that.
South Africa is going through so much. If you look at a political stance, we have 4 murders that's really taking the whole country by storm. It's something unbelievable. People are getting murdered daily, and it's almost like I feel because it's Africa, a lot of the world doesn't see it, and it's like nobody in the world really knows what's going on there. And I just want to shout out to South Africa, to my South African people, the folks, and say, guys, stay strong. We can beat this battle, and I just get this opportunity on the biggest stage in the world to say, let's stop the 4 murders, and I want the world to see what's happening in South Africa. And it's such a beautiful country. It's really one of the most beautiful countries in the world that's being ruined by stuff like this. And we don't need that. And let's stick together as a country. Let's stick together as humanity. And
okay, so you can imagine this video. Well,
I know who got upset.
Yeah, more.
Julius.
Why did
Julius got upset, right? Julius is angry.
Julius is very angry. There's actually a meme about that. But there's actually on X there were people saying that they would love to see Julius and Dricus in the octagon.
Shame. No, you can't do that to Julius. Shame, man. You get knocked the fuck out for a second.
Yeah. I mean, how dare he? How dare he talk about farm murders? Shame. No, can't do
Yeah,
that.
how dare he?
And it's amazing. It's amazing.
But it's the two opposing sides of the argument. It's like the one guy going, "We need to stop it," and the other guy going, "Let's shoot Afrikaans farmers."
It's actually I gotta show you like not a meme, but like I gotta show you one of these people that have commented this kind of again, you know, the majority of the country happy that he won, celebrating that he won. I'm sure it was all over all social media, on TikTok, on Facebook, on wherever. Everybody's praising this man for the win, for making South African sports history, and rightfully so. I think he deserves that win. But then you've got people who spew this kind of stuff. And by the way, just before I read it, it's fake, fake news, and I'll explain why. So this guy posted breaking news: a child of a snake is a snake. A European illegal immigrant to South Africa, Dricus De Plessis, has called for Cape independence, where fellow racist Europeans can create a state of from stolen African territory. Now, let me quickly just say he's saying this because of this image. Okay, and I just want to say this image, or on the image it says, I support Cape independence. Do you? Now, that's a meme, guys. It's not real. It wasn't something that he posted or anything like that. It's a meme, for crying out loud. Anyway, I continue, but this guy continues and says, the land thief doesn't believe in South Africa that is led by African and the majority being black, yet the Minister of Condolence had this to say to him: South Africans, we have an Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. Congratulations, Du Plessis. You have raised our country's flag. Enjoy the moment, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, cease. But this kind of rhetoric, and the reason why I chose this post specifically is because you'll see the same kind of message by the haters all over. Well, not all over, but like the ones that are hating. This is basically the message they're saying, that he supports Cape independence, which, by the way, Dricus has never ever, I think, from what I can tell, gone out publicly and said that he supports that. And number two, because he spoke about farm murders, now he's the enemy.
So if you guys don't know, Joe invited me a few days ago, when you guys were watching this a little while back, we had a little impromptu discussion about Cape independence, because I was on the fence and Joe knows a little bit more about it, and it was quite a nice discussion. And what's the guy's name? Phil Craig. Phil Craig popped in. It was rad. It was like, I didn't know we asked a bunch of questions and he answered them. And I knew, for someone who knew like very little about it, it was awesome actually watching it. But what I noticed was there's a lot of people in the comments who are like, and what I realized was they're like people, just haters going, well, this is racist. But what I came across, and this is the same as this tweet, is like, it almost seems like the person who's posting this tweet has this idea of like, because this person, I mean, he's not an illegal immigrant, but the reason he says he's a illegal immigrant to South Africa is because they believe that the settlers, colonizers, people, South Africans who have born here, generations of people who are born here, they're not legally South African, which is this weird perception I started noticing that people have. It's just this rhetoric that they come back with. Oh, well, your great grandparents came here, therefore you're an illegal immigrant. You're a settler, colonizer, go back to Europe. And this is this exact sentiment that this tweet has, which is like, I just find it disgusting. I mean, imagine saying that to people going, because no one is indigenous to South Africa, just by the way, except for the San. I went to a museum over the holiday, and like it was actually nice seeing this. Like, oh, it's in history. No one's indigenous apart from the San. Everybody came here. So if he has to go back, then you should go back to whatever communist country you came from.
Actually, they
it's
came.
it's weird.
I told the one guy on Twitter or on X because he's like, oh, you should go back to Europe if you want Cape independence. Which, I mean, I'm not from Europe, but in some ways he's not wrong, because if you go back into my heritage, I probably am from Spain, but that's besides the point. I told him, like, well, then you go back to Northern Africa, because that's where they
exactly 100%. Or what about remember when the whole Cleopatra documentary came out, and they were, well, the Egyptians are actually black people, we was kings and all that, but then go back to Egypt then.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that the same thing? Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, for example, your daughter is a South African. She's born and bred South African. She maybe you're a descendant. You were born in another country, but you're a citizen of this country, and you married a citizen of this country.
Yep.
Your daughter's birthright is fucking South Africa. She is a South African. She is African. Like, shut the fuck up with telling us to go back to places we don't come from. It really fucked me off, honestly.
No, it's great, because this is great content. Don't delete that part. So yeah. Anyway, just wanted to mention this, bring this to some people's attention. Don't listen. At the end of the day,
don't read everything. Don't believe everything you see.
Don't believe everything you say. Yeah, definitely don't believe everything you see. And also, like, it's election season, so there's a lot of like bots and stuff out there. Woo, it's rough on X. Like, it really is, and TikTok. So yeah, just well done, Dricus. Thank you for winning and putting
well done
South Africa once again on the map. I'm sure you're very proud, and you should be. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about with regards to UFC, which is Dana White. I don't know if you saw this, Mork. He actually told off a woke journalist. Do you want to watch?
I haven't seen the clip, but yeah, we can. Yeah, I saw the image come up, and I just haven't clicked on it. I've just been busy today. And I want to mention one thing about Dricus after you play this clip.
Well, you can mention it now before I play it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I think the coolest thing I saw about this whole thing with Dricus was after he won, the first thing he's chirping is "Bring me my flag."
Yeah.
Dricus De Plessis. Dricus, how does that sound? Thank you so much, Canada. Can I get my flag, Coach? That country is amazing. Thank you, South Africa.
Beautiful. I mean, this him going, I like sat there going, like, oh, goosebumps. I feel all like emotional. Go South Africa. It was a beautiful moment. And it's like his country, and like everybody in the country. Like, I've never seen this guy say anything fucking racist, so I don't know why that's the default every fucking time. White man, therefore he must be racist. It's fucking stupid.
No, everything was okay until he spoke about farm murders, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that was the setup. But anyway, and like, also let me mention this as well. So like, a lot of people were like, yeah, but why didn't he talk about other crimes? Like, there's a lot of murders in South Africa and a lot of crime in GBV. Why didn't he talk about that? And I just want to say, well, the thing is, when you talk about other crimes like hijacking or GBV or murder or whatever, other than farm murders, you're not told to shut up. You're not told that you're a conspiracy theorist, and you're not told that you're you're not silenced, basically, and told that the stats are racist or whatever, right? There's an aggressive attempt in South Africa to silence the topic of farm murders, and that's why he's talking about it, because no one seems to care about it, and those who care about it can't talk about it or aren't brave enough to talk about it, because, like you've seen, you get called racist and all kinds of horrible stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, the media is also like, the only time I ever see reporting on farm murders is when they're telling you that farm murders like rarely happen, or it's like, it's not genocide. I never see an article going, oh, look, this has happened. Oh, this, four farm murders that happened, and it's very violent, and it happened in the last week. You don't see that. It's like, But also, just to your point quickly, it's the same thing. It's like people always make that argument. Well, when you don't talk about all the murders, you talk about farm murders only. Well, that's the exact same as GBV. It's going like, well, if you're talking about GBV, you're ignoring all the other murders. Like how is that argument any different? Just explain it to me. Someone with a PhD in their Twitter bio, please explain it to me. Fuck. Sorry.
Oh man. Okay, so speaking of UFC, Dana White, I love this. More people standing up to wokeness.
Dana, I just want to go back. You were talking about, like, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with the UFC microphone, and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
I'm like...
Free speech. And control what people say. Gonna tell people what to believe. Gonna tell people... I don't fucking tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want, and they can believe whatever they want. And I don't think there's any... We had two gay women who fought in the co-main event. They sat on the stage with Sean Strickland. They could give a shit what Sean Strickland thinks, or what he says, or what his beliefs are, or what his opinions are. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What do you got?
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
That
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Finally.
I love that clip, dude.
I feel like
Very
people
true.
should just like make a meme of the final 5 seconds, like free speech. People can say whatever they want to say and believe in whatever they want to believe.
No, 100%, dude.
So yeah, well, like we both believe in that. Like, and that used to be the libertarians' like hardcore belief, right? Like, let people believe in what they want to believe in.
Let people do and believe whatever the fuck they want to believe.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't infringe on anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever you want to as long as your arms don't swing and hit me.
Exactly. And yeah, so I would have loved to see that reporter's face and just how shocked he was.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Speaking of reporting,
shut down.
Speaking of reporting in journalism, I don't know if you heard, Mork, but there is a publication. I think it's a publication or magazine that is in trouble. I'm just going to show you
which one now?
I'm going to show you the tweet. Go woke, go broke. Sports Illustrated lays off almost all of its staff just months after featuring transgender singer Kim Petras on the cover. Much of the staff of Sports Illustrated and all remaining writers and editors received layoff notices on Friday, which could spell the end of the publication.
Oh my God, I love it. Honestly, I love it. It's just, it happens every time. It's like, I mean, Sports Illustrated, come on, like Sports Illustrated Bikini Edition. That used to be a thing until they obviously, I probably would love to know when they canceled that. I don't think they even do that anymore, do they? Because it's like, it's sexist putting pretty girls in bikinis. It's like, let's just put a guy in a bikini. What?
Yeah, that's basically what they did. For those of you who don't know, this trans, what I always get confused when addressing transgender. So is it a transgender male because he transitioned to female, or is it a transgender female because they transitioned to female?
Oh God, now you've confused me.
I'm trying to know. Anyway,
I don't know. I mean, he looks hot, right?
This one, anyway, they just refer to as transgender. So, singer transgender Kim Petras named as cover model for the 2023 Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. So, he's still doing it. I just wanted to point out that it's a singer. It's a pop singer, and yeah. I mean, listen. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you didn't tell me that was a man, I never would have known. If I'm honest,
I don't know.
I'm just being honest.
There's a lot of work done, but there's something about when I have like a 10%, 15% radar coming up, going like that the face there. It's just, it looks, something about it just doesn't look legit in the neck. I mean, I'm sorry to like be body addressing her body parts, but is what it is. It's like something just doesn't look kosher. And I mean, apart from that, I would have gone like, that's maybe just like an average looking girl. But why? What I do is I don't understand this. I really don't understand why they do this. Why? Like your market is like maybe. I mean, what women buy Sports Illustrated apart from the chicks that are in there, the women that are featured in there? Apart from them, it's probably like 99% male. It's probably the majority. I'm just like this is something that you could buy as a young boy that's like sexy girls in it. So it's like 99% male. Imagine going onto like a naughty site and you're looking for straight stuff, and all of a sudden there's a dong in your face. I mean, why would you do this? It's like you know what your market wants. It's like Apple going, here, where's an Apple iPhone? You order one and you get it, and there's a cup in. You're going, what the fuck is this? I didn't order a cup. I ordered an iPhone.
No, look,
Like, why would you?
It's because the company's trying to be inclusive and trying to cater to
Yes,
a
of course.
very small market that just happened to be very loud.
Vocal. Yes.
But at the end of the day, I saw someone also quote tweet one of these news headlines, and they said Sports Illustrated just learned not to piss off their target market. And that's like spot on, like
100%. I mean, luckily now, I'm sure that obviously these journalists learned from what happened years ago, and they obviously in their spare time they were learning to code, right? I hope so.
I just wanted to show that this is not fake news. That this really is happening. That the Sports Illustrator is going to lay off. This is the statement from basically the Sports Illustrator union, and I'm not going to read all of it, but
yeah,
it's just again saying that they're going to lay off people. What happened was the Sports Illustrator were notified that the Arena Group is planning to lay off a significant number, possibly all of the guild represented workers at SI as a result of Authentic Brands Group, ABG, revoking Arena's license to publish Sports Illustrator. So that is why. But you got to ask yourself, why is the Authentic Brands Group revoking that license? I mean, this maybe Sports Illustrated isn't making as much money anymore. I don't know. There could be a number of reasons.
I don't think they are. But it's quite funny though, because I saw a similar article less than a couple of days ago, where it's like the LA Times, which is a newspaper, they're laying off the union, the LA Times News Guild, something with a similar name. They also came out, they're laying off a whole bunch of journalists, and people pointed out that the crap that they've been posting, which is everything is woke, agenda driven, LGBT, and people are just going like, they're not going to buy this because you're catering to a audience. And I think is this, again, we can probably ask the question, is this coming from like BlackRock? Is this DEI kind of vibe where you have to constantly mention certain people of a certain demographic because that's considered what's good in the world, and then people are going, well, I'm not going to buy this crap anymore. Like I'm just not going to subscribe to a newspaper or a magazine that's like, pushing this stuff I'm not interested in. It's like Sports Illustrated is like, it's like Playboy going like, we're just going to do finance stuff now, and we're going to like do, fold outs of stocks.
No, Playboy did the same thing. They'd also be like,
canceled. Yeah, exactly. They would be losing. They would lose money. Like totally. It's like just understand your market.
The target market doesn't want to see penises. Like,
no, exactly. God. Put it in the thing where it's like, put it in Cosmopolitan. The only thing that you ever read in Cosmopolitan is about sex and dating, and just there's a whole bunch of chicks that always buy Cosmopolitan, and they would probably love to see a penis, right?
That is so misogynistic, Mark.
So misogynistic.
Your misogyny. I think this post also just kind of sums up what you just said. This is German pop star Kim Petras is one of the year's sports model, whatever. Sports Illustrated is coming under fire for putting Kim Petras, a transgendered pop star, on one of the covers of the magazine's annual swimsuit issue. The Washington Post then has a headline months later, Sports Illustrated lays off most of its staff, threatening iconic brand's future. So basically, it's that meme, how it started and how it's going. Like that's pretty much what's happening there.
But I mean, it's like, my question is like, have you not learned in the last 10 years? Have you not seen what happens to? I mean, like the term "go woke, go broke." It's like, I swear to God, they've never heard about it. Like the people in these going like they've never heard this. It's like, what's go woke, go
Did
broke?
they not?
Just probably nothing.
Did they not see what happened with Bud Light? I mean,
dude, Bud Light, Disney. I mean, everybody, every single company that's just gone full blown woke. It just doesn't end well. You lose money. Just cater to your market. Like, fuck, why is it so hard?
But Mark, I mean, speaking about going woke and going broke, and speaking about Disney.
Oh.
Lord, yeah. I can see see your anus is just like
I feel like the Hulk. Am I going green? Am I going green? I swear to God, I'm going green.
Man. I know you don't want to talk about this. Like you want to talk about it, but at the same time, you don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because it's like the eye rolling and the like. Oh, I don't even know if I want to watch this clip again. But let me start off with the clip, and then we can get into
play that clip. Play that clip.
Discussion.
Play that.
Filmmaker and activist Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is the only female director to have won 2 Academy Awards by the age of 37. She's also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Princess Leia, Organa, fucking Rey that nobody liked.
This entire thing is so fucking cringe, dude. Like, is Kathleen Kennedy a man? Is the person who's been in charge of Lucasfilm for the last 12 years? Is she not a woman? The person who's literally a woman and shaping Star Wars for the last 10 years,
she could be
12 years, is like she just doesn't care.
She could be transgender.
Oh my God.
Well, that's pretty messed up. Listen, I gotta tell you what really irritates me about this director. Okay, it's not the whole feminist thing that she's on about. Like, honestly, I don't care that she's a feminist. What I care about is qualification. What I care about is experience and whether or not this person is going to deliver on an artistic piece that will satisfy the fans of Star Wars, right? I mean, J.J. Abrams, for example, even though not everybody's happy with The Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams is or had qualifications, right? Because he did Star Trek and they weren't too bad. He did Star Wars, but I imagine that he got a lot of pushback in the studios. That's why it didn't come out maybe the way he wanted it to. And then people changed his script and all that stuff. But J.J. Abrams was a sci-fi fan. He was a fan of Star Wars. He did, to a certain extent, understand the story of Star Wars, just like Dave Filoni, who's a huge fan of Star Wars as well, writing all the and directing some of the Mandalorian series and all the other series.
Did all the Clone Wars. He wrote Clone Wars with George Lucas.
There you go. Right. So that's a qualification. That's quite good. That's experience. That's quite good to allow you to work on a Star Wars movie. Let's see for a second. Just indulge me. Indulge me, please. Has she ever worked on a Star Wars film or anything to that nature? Let's have a look at her IMDb, where this is future Star Wars. That doesn't count. Okay, this is previous. Okay, Miss Marvel, Okay, you might say, well, that's kind of similar, right? I mean, like it's
Well,
not sci-fi, but it's
apart.
fantasy.
Well, I mean, it's the show that it's probably one of the worst things to come out of Marvel since all of it. I mean, this is the show like nobody watched this. It's terrible. It did so bad they made a movie which bombed the Marvels. It was absolutely trash. And and this is the point. Is Joe's like it's what you're saying is they did the exact mistake with the Marvels. And like, did you not realize like when you fuck up, right? When you make a mistake, you go like, okay, cool. I probably shouldn't take a drill and put it on and put it to my head and then push the button, right? I shouldn't do that because I can die. Back in the day, like, don't eat this herb. It's like, you go, okay, cool, probably shouldn't do that. But they're just going, we're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to hire a director who's done nothing really before this. And we're going to put her and give her $1 billion movie budget and just go do it. Go.
But here's the thing, right? So she only directed, as you can see there, 2 episodes of that series.
Yeah.
So she's not entirely to blame for the failure of the series, but she's maybe 10% to blame. But regardless, okay, then we have Fundamental, Gender Justice, No Expectation, which it's a mini series. We have a short, Let Girls Dream. We have another short, Freedom Fighters. She directed Bahadur, Rise of the Warriors. And there's a lot of Bahadurs, apparently, The Revenge of Baba Balam. Student Athlete, she directed that. I'm not really seeing a lot of Star Wars content here.
But we can go through it. We can go like woke. I
don't know what the
woke Marvels, which is woke. So
no,
like,
I don't know what the fuck this is. Reinventing the Taliban. How do you reinvent the Taliban?
I mean, I don't know. I know, as far as I know, I think she won an Academy Award for Best Documentary, which is the whole vibe about, it's a great. There's a clip that we had that's been doing the rounds.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
I think that was done at the time in reference to this movie, which is like, it's a rough movie about, a certain demographic and the gender-based violence that women experience. But again, I think the clip is being used in a correct way and in an incorrect way. I think what this points out, and she's actually comes out and said it when she got the job, she's like, she's an activist and she wants to push her activism through every single thing that she does.
I think at the heart of everything, I am a storyteller and an activist. And my body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there.
But it's like you're hiring an activist to direct a Star Wars movie.
Yep.
What are we going to do? Like the oppression of Padme, like how Princess Leia has just been oppressed by her brother being a Jedi. Like what?
No.
Rey is oppressed. She's just the most powerful being in the universe is being oppressed by men in the Jedi that she is the boss of.
What you don't know, Mork, is that Rey was raped, and so Charmin is going to do a documentary on.
Of course, yeah, about Rey's like Kylo before he died. He looked at her in a rapey way, and she has trauma.
She probably is a really good director. I'm not disputing. I'm not trying to say that she's a bad director, but it's about experience. And did she watch Star Wars when she was a little girl? Did she grow up admiring Princess Leia? Clearly not. She doesn't even know Princess Leia exists.
I mean, she doesn't even know anything about the Star Wars universe. She doesn't even know anything about the fucking company. She doesn't know anything about Lucasfilm. I mean, there's the clip where she goes, I'm going to be the first, like the clip you just played in the beginning now. It would be nice to see a woman lead the Star Wars universe. Like, do you not know who directed Obi-Wan? Like, what's the chick's name? Deborah Chow. Like, Ahsoka, the series was directed by a couple of women. The new Acolyte coming out is literally directed by a woman. And then the part that you just gloss over is the person who's been in charge of Lucasfilm for the last, 12 years, who is an activist. The Force is female. How well has Star Wars done since then? I mean, the thing is they're trying to break trying to break imaginary glass ceilings. That's what it is. It's like it's the first woman of color to direct it. Like, I mean, okay, awesome. Now what? Now the movie fails. You know what? The fans are racist. Like, no one hates this chick about her race or anything. She's just not the right fit. When they announced J.J. Abrams is going to do Star Wars, I was like, oh, great. I'm actually happy. This guy is a fan of Star Wars. I mean, he literally put R2-D2 in a Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
You saw that scene, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, come on.
Like,
you know?
No, but
And
that's what I'm
again,
saying. He's a fan, right? He's a fan. He's a
Yeah,
diehard
exactly.
fan. He loves the franchise. But what has Obeyed Shinoy put R2-D2 in one of her documentaries and we didn't notice? I don't think so.
I mean, she knows nothing about. I mean, again, I don't know. We can't say she knows nothing about it. I mean, maybe she's a secret Star Wars fan. Who knows? But like, you're hiring someone that does like activist sort of very woke stuff. When the problem is that you guys are having is like you guys are going woke and people are going stop being woke with all the stuff. Like that's literally what the fans have been saying this entire time. And you're going, oh, we're going to ignore the customer. And we're going to just, we're going to send people mugs instead of iPhones. Like, okay, sure. And why do you hate money?
And what's your opinion on the fact that now Star Wars is going to be focused on Rey? I mean,
I think it's a cop out. I think it's silly. It's like this is the story that we should have gotten with Luke. It should have been like, because I mean, I read a little bit. They want to take Rey. It's like 10 years after what happened. And she's starting the Jedi Order or some stuff. But that's what we wanted to see Luke do. We wanted to see Luke do this. This is where George Lucas wanted to take it. And we're going, no. We're going to like, strong woman, put a chick in it, make it gay.
So in a way, Star Wars, what's it, 6, 7, 8? Yeah, 7, 8, 9.
I mean, it's probably going to...
Was like a reboot.
No, it's going to be 10. Yeah, it kind of was a reboot. I think it was a reboot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're killing all the old characters, bringing new characters, starting a new thing. I mean, maybe it's also a licensing issue with characters and all that type of stuff. I mean, I was reading. No. Apparently, this is the thing. So it's like it's licensing, right? So, for example, even though George Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars, right, to Lucasfilm to Disney, he still has, like, for example, composition rights, ownership rights of the intellectual property, and like he created the characters, right? So now JJ comes along. Every time they use Luke, you've got to send some money to Mark Hamill. George Lucas gets some because he invented the character. What happens when you create a new character? You're the owner of that character, right? So that was like that was also a big thing about like that we don't know. That's like with music that I'm in, like the licensing vibe behind it. It's like you create new music. It's like, well, that's new music. It's like I'm the owner. So you create 4 new characters. They're the thing. All the toys, merchandise, everything. You're getting a cut on that. It's like going, maybe they saw this and they went, let's go down this route. Money corrupts.
You say that, right? But it kind of all makes sense because that's essentially what they did, right? They just killed off, gave the worst kill. Like they started with Han fucking Solo to kill him off. Then they just chipped away at all the famous characters. Eventually Leia's gone, Luke is gone, Yoda's gone. They came up with a new character and then killed him off anyway. But my point is, even Kylo Ren now is gone. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, because now
it's a bit of both. It's like you've got. I mean, again, it's like the writing. I mean, we're both in sort of in like the advertising world and like getting briefs and stuff. I mean, imagine what it would be like over there. So it's like you're the director. It's like, submit your stuff to the client. You're going, this is what I'm going to do, and they're like, no. And then you're going, fuck. Okay, cool. I've got to rewrite this. And then it's like you're going like, no, we love this. And it's like, this is a shit story. But like, this is where I'm going. Like J.J. Abrams could have gone, my contract is I want to do it my way. Write all 3 of them. I want to sit with George. I want to do. He could have done that, but the thing is also they were like, we just bought it. We spent $4 billion. We want to knock out a movie quickly, and then there goes the timing, and we're going to make it better. And I think what they did was they thought it's Star Wars. People are just going to love it regardless, and they didn't. They didn't put the care in that George did. I mean, look at like Lord of the Rings. The amount of care that fucking what's the guy's name?
Peter Jackson.
Jackson, yeah. The amount of care and love he put into that movie, it's just like, wow. I watched it over Christmas. Dude, wow, what a movie. What a series.
Great. great franchise.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think it's going to go? Like, do you think? I mean,
if I'm honest, and I think a lot of people feel this way at this point, I've lost hope. I don't. There is no new hope for me. So, Star Wars reference there. Yeah, like I'm. Listen, here's the thing, and this is why I was so confused, and you kind of shattered the glass for me. I didn't enjoy Star Wars, the new ones, that much, but I wanted to enjoy it because it's Star Wars, right?
Same here.
But the more I listened to you, and the more I was like, okay, well, I listened to Mork.
No, but it's also you.
And then I was like, no, listen, let me finish. Let me finish. All right. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll watch it again and I'll see if what Mork is saying is true. And then I watch it again and I'm like, okay, I can't see it. But anyway, the first time I watched it, before you and I ever chatted, I wasn't entirely happy with Force Awakens, for example. I told you this as well. I said that it felt like they were remaking the first one. Like it just 100%. Better graphics. And I was very disappointed with the ending. I was very disappointed with the whole Luke thing. The whole reason why people wanted to watch Star Wars was to see Luke, and you literally leave it to the last 30 seconds and he doesn't say a fucking word. Are you insane? Are you like it's like a stripper telling you that she's going to have sex with you, right? But she doesn't give any time or anything like that, and she gives you a lap dance for like 6 hours only to say, bye, we're closing. Like that's what you did.
It's more like you paid for a lap dance, and she was like, "I'm going to be right second. She's fixing the lights, and then she's like, "Can I get you another drink?" And it's like, it's over. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. It's like, wait, what happened? Like, you got clothes on. What the fuck's going on? No, but I mean, dude, I remember when I saw the trailer for The Force Awakens.
It was brilliant.
J.J. Abrams. And I was going like, I'm not sure about JJ. Is he the best? And it's like, the time they did it in was very short. And like, let's hope George Lucas is in there. And then it's like, no, he wasn't. And then I was like, I should have worried. But they covered that up until I think a week or 2 weeks before it came out.
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer, I was like, dude, I was excited. I was going, oh my God, Star Wars.
Everybody
and then
was.
I watched it at the cinema. It was great. Hated the ending. Like first bit of thing, and watching it. And it's almost like that balance between how I want it to be, like you just mentioned, like you want it to be amazing and it not meeting your expectation and that sort of thing, meeting in the middle. And I'm sitting there going, and it was as that lightsaber goes through Han Solo, I was going, I hate you film. And and then it's just there. That was the breaking point.
The Han Solo bit, I accepted. I was not happy about it, but I accepted it because that's a common theme in Star Wars. If you look at the first, the original trilogy and then the prequels, someone has to die in the first movie or iteration or whatever. So I was pissed off that it was Han Solo.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, well, kind of expect someone to die. Moving on from Star Wars, I don't have much hope. I really don't. I think you and I still need to have a discussion about Ahsoka.
Yes.
I don't know where that's gonna go now, but Mandalorian, I'm still a fan of. Wasn't impressed with season 3, but you see, this is what Disney does to us, right? So they give us this beautiful 2 seasons, right? And then 3rd season, everything just falls apart. Okay. Wokeness enters a little bit.
Yeah.
And it feels like they've kind of restarted things with the way it ended. So it's like everything, certain questions are still out there, but most of the main storyline has been answered and done with and closed. So there was this feeling of, okay, cool, we're going to start now almost like anew. but at the same time, it was so disappointing. I don't know.
It was. I mean, like for example, in the beginning, I was like, I like the arc of like the Grogu, like sort of the Baby Yoda thing. I was going,
Yeah.
that was nice exploring that. But then I think in season 2, I was going like, okay, now it's getting boring because now again I look at it from a point of view of licensing and stuff. It's like that's just a toy. It's literally there. Like the character of Grogu has no character. There is no character. The only way they can improve this is just shoot him. Just shoot him in his little Grogu head. Just kill him off already. Because like all it is like you've now made a thing that can never grow up because he's old for 50 fucking years. He's 50 years old and he's a baby. Like, okay, so he can't like progress over the next 5 years and suddenly start talking. I mean, just like it's a baby that can use the force when he feels like it and when he doesn't want to. It's like he can't communicate.
Yeah, that was annoying.
It's becoming annoying. It's like it's sort of taking away from the movie, and they have to have him there because toy sales.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if they can save Star Wars, dude. And where it's going now, it's like, fuck, really?
Am I feeding the monster, Mark?
What? Why? What is that?
Am I feeding the monster?
No, I mean it's not that. It's like it's I think
Come on,
it's a cute thing. It's a cute thing, but like okay, now where do we go with the story, right? Like it's cool. Like it was nice to see it. There was a cool concept to it, but now you're in the second, now in the third season. Now what's Grogu doing other than just being a prop, right? Like the Empire wants to kill him, they want to clone him, and then like because I was the entire time when it came out, I was going, okay, cool. So this takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, right? So like, okay, cool. So where are we going? Are we still going to continue the Emperor? And then when they started bringing Grogu in and about the whole we're going to clone stuff, I was going, fuck, we're going to go to cloning the Emperor. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't care anymore. I really don't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's listen. This was the point I was trying to get to. Is they give you something, they make it good at the beginning, and then they mess it up.
Yeah.
And I'm worried. I'm trying to have hope, but I'm worried that season 4 is just gonna be even worse. And
yeah,
I keep.
I
and we keep on like even with Ahsoka, right? Like I remember there was a time when Ahsoka was coming out, and you were like, "Yo, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great."
Yeah.
Fucking David Filoni, he's on it. You know, he's directing, he's writing. We're gonna be fun, man. And I think like
exactly.
a week before, you're like, "Fuck this shit. It's gonna be crap."
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's like now what they've made me into like this, like they're turning me into Luke, like the Luke we saw in their movie, where you're just grumpy old man. I'm just like, I'm over it, and the reason I'm over it is because of you. Because of you, Disney. You keep doing this. You keep creating crap, and I'm like, now I don't care. Like no amount of hope. You could bring out, I don't know, a new Luke Skywalker movie. I'm going to hate it before I even see it because I know what you produce. I'm over it. Like all hope is lost.
Well, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan as well. Good Lord, what a shit show that was. I mean, that's Star Wars. I don't think there's going to be anything good. And the other part is like, I'm starting to look at stuff now. I mean, try and tell me what's the last good movie you've seen. Like, I can't even think of anything.
Oh,
like,
I did watch a fairly good movie. It's not it's a popcorn movie. It's not like anything like it's not gonna win. Maybe it did win. I think it was nominated, but it's not gonna win like any major awards. I think. No Hard Feelings. It's a rom-com.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That wasn't. I mean, again, that was. But I mean, what I'm saying is, when last have you seen like a, like a movie that moves you, like like a Fight Club or like a Matrix or any of like a Seven, like you watch this going, wow, what you walk away going like, you know what? I'm happy I spent fucking 100 rand on popcorn and bought an 80 rand cool drink from the movies.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to the cinema.
Exactly. Right?
I did another movie I did watch was Sound of Freedom.
I need to finish that movie.
That movie I was gripped
it's just
the
I didn't want to, just because it's such a topic, and I was in Christmas mode for almost 2 months, right? So I keep seeing it. I'm going, I'm gonna do it soon. It's just it's such a hectic topic, man.
It's luckily they don't show anything graphic during the entire movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. Well, I do actually understand. So that movie was banned in a lot of cinemas in America, and
Yeah.
you know what? The whole movie, I'm asking myself, why was this banned? Why was this banned? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Because I was expecting something a lot worse for it to be banned. Until the final 30 seconds of the movie, where because this is a movie based on true events, they, those kind of movies always at the end always have like words on the screen and like give you updates or stats or whatever facts about the true story. And yeah, some of those facts made sense why they banned it, because some of the elites would not be happy about what was said. But the thing is, it's probably true what they said. So
yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's like, I mean, we everybody keeps going like, the elites, the people in media, and the guys who run the world, they're not involved in like weird things with kids. And then it's like Jeffrey Epstein is like, okay, that happened, but Jeffrey Epstein, bitch, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, just tell us who the people are. Like, tell me. I just want to know.
What's also interesting is like, there is names recently released on a list, right?
Yeah.
And the media is like repeated. So I watched one segment of it, and the media was like every like sentence they were saying. But remember, this doesn't mean that they did anything wrong. They were just on a list, and then they'd say something about it, and then they'd be like, "But remember, we're not saying they did anything wrong. They were just on a list." Even Whoopi Goldberg was like, "I don't even know how I got onto a list." I was like, well, because you're probably a friend at some point. Like,
yeah, but I mean, the thing is like, listen, the thing is like, you're so semi-complicit, right? Like, I mean, I know how it happened. Like, for example, I've always said to people this, right? I know how it could happen because I saw one of people on those lists and I'm going, I kind of like that guy, but I mean, but I can think how it could happen. Imagine I know Jeffrey Epstein and you're my friend, right? And I go like, hey, Joe, do you want to like a mate of mine's having like a cool weekend, free flights? You want to come with me to his island? And you're like, I can't really. I'm like, dude, come on, everything, expenses paid, come with me. And you're like, fine, cool, let's go have a guy's weekend. And we go. And then we come back, and like 3 months later, I'm like, hey, dude, remember that dude we went to, Jeffrey Epstein? He's like, he wanted to know if I can give you his number. He wants to like, send you a text. And you're like, yeah, of course. Yeah, cool, dude. And he sends you a thing, and he goes, oh, Joe, by the way, like, do you want to invest in my stock vibe? And you're like, no, cool, dude. I'm not interested, And he goes, oh, by the way, that little girl who's serving you drinks? She's 14. And you're like, I didn't do anything, but now you just happen to be there. And I think that's a lot of those people. I don't think all of them are complicit, but to a degree you are, because you went there. And the things, they shut up about it. Whoopi Goldberg, nobody. Remember when the stuff came out? Not a single one of them went out and going like, oh, well, I was there, and everybody shut up. Like, no one knew anybody who knew him. Come on. The same thing happened with what Harvey Weinstein. Like, Hollywood knew about everything was happening. There was like, there's a porn category named after what he did. And no one like, oh, no, I could never see this happening. I'm like, Oprah introducing girls. Come on. Yeah. You guys were complicit. You did nothing,
Yep. Hollywood. Speaking of Hollywood, there's a guy who's been in many Hollywood comedy movies, especially in the early 90s and late 2000s. He hasn't been in a movie a lot recently, but he's been in a few. I'm talking about comedian and actor Rob Schneider, ladies and gentlemen, who is actually quite freaking based.
Oh, dude, he's so based. Yeah, dude. Rob Schneider.
Huge. I'm just a fan because of that. And this is the Based Edge podcast. So I want to share with you a tweet that he said recently, and then we'll have a discussion about it. So he says here, Rob Schneider tweeting, "Dear Scott Kirby, CEO, United Airlines, and drag queen practitioner, I regret to inform you that I will no longer allow my family to fly on your airline, as you have clearly placed diversity, quote unquote, of pilot hiring above safety of passengers and crew, as evidenced by the near aviation catastrophe of UA Boeing 777 Flight 1722 from Maui to San Francisco on December the 18th, 2023, where your diverse but incompetent flight crew didn't know which flaps were causing its near disastrous descent. Coming within 750 feet of killing everyone on board your United Airline. I cannot tell you how many United Airline employees have personally thanked me for my valid criticism of your careless and life-threatening leadership. I look forward to your swift dismissal by UA's board of directors before your insane actions, I think you meant, cause the deaths of hundreds of men, women, and children. After your inevitable firing, you can get back to your true passion, your drag queen performances. Sincerely yours, Rob Schneider, former 1K United Airline frequent flyer. That's based as hell, man.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, and this actually like only came out months after what happened, that this Maui flight came within 750 feet of crashing into Pacific Ocean. Now, in this article, they say that it was wind problems as well, but basically it was inexperienced pilots that were the problem. And you can see there where that dip happened. So it's going up, it's going up, and then all of a sudden, I mean, they say that they were diving for like 40 seconds or something. Can you imagine being in that plane? Like, and like you're saying your goodbyes, dude. Like, this is it, you know?
It's like this is like that whole DEI thing that's come to the surface now recently, where companies are hiring people based on ethnicity and race, and like you're going like, you realize that's racist, right? To hire people based on their ethnicity or their race as opposed to their merit, whether they're able to do the work. It's like I saw Elon and Mark Cuban having an argument about this, and Elon, like, Mark Cuban's trying to defend the position of DEI while it actually works and it makes the pool bigger. No, it doesn't. If you just hire on merit, that's the entire pool. When you hire on basically on diversity and who's the biggest victim and who's suffered the most, you're narrowing that entire merit pool down.
Yep.
Like, a company shouldn't be hiring people based on their race so they can meet a specific race quota. That is the textbook definition of racism. I don't understand how people don't understand. And your example right here, this article, that is it happening. That is the consequences in the real world.
Well, it's not even like race. It's just about like inclusivity, right? So it's like, you don't have to be the best. And here's the thing. Let me make this also very clear, because I'm sure you also feel the same way. If this or whatever, not transgender, drag queen, okay, was the best pilot in the world, and the crew were the best pilot team crew, whatever you want to call it, crew in the cockpit, there would be no issue because they wouldn't have nearly died. I don't care if my pilot is a drag queen. I don't care if my pilot is a transgender. I don't care if my pilot is a lesbian or whatever. I don't care if he's black. I don't care if she's black. I don't care. As long as they know what the fuck they're doing so we don't die.
100%.
That's all.
100%. And it's again, for example, like I think who did the best example of this? I think it was Jordan Peterson, right? So he uses, I think, pilots, or he used engineers in his example, where he goes like, okay, cool. Like, the majority of men are engineers, right? But there are also women engineers.
Yep.
But the pool and the variable of the people being better, the top 10% of engineers that are men are going to be vastly better than the top. There's 100, hypothetically, there's 100 women engineers, there's 10,000 men engineers. The chances that you're going to get the best of the best out of the men is going to be 100 times higher than picking the top out of the 100 women. And it's the same with pilots. The majority of pilots are men. It's a sexism, it's race, it's diversity. It's this whole bullshit vibe of like, we have to have diversity, inclusivity, everything's got to be equal. It's basically what South Africa does with the race quotas. It's like, we got to look cool. Well, 50% of our females, we're female owned and we're black owned, and like we've got like 5 transgenders and LGBTQ friendly. It's like, no one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Only people that care are the very loud minority. Why is this on the forefront? Why do they care so much about this? I don't understand.
Well, they're incentivized to. I think in America there's some kind of system, much like South Africa has the BEE thing. In America, there's a diversity quota. So I don't know what they get from the government. If they get paid more, or they get like maybe less.
They get like a tax rebate, or
something like
that. Like with BE every year, like the SARS charges you less.
Yeah.
But like for example, if you're putting diversity in, and it's like the results are absolutely terrible. I mean, like Disney, you're losing money. Planes are crashing. Sport Illustrated, you're losing. People aren't buying your product. Is it worth it? And you're going to go, and people who are activists are going to go, yes, it's worth it. No, it's not, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to get like a South Africa. Let's do race-based politics and put that onto business. What happened? Who's the first company to like fully get into that? Eskom. How's Eskom doing today? Not good, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? It's like
it's sad that what happened. I think I misspoke earlier when I said that the pilot was a drag queen, because Rob Schneider in his tweet was addressing the CEO as the drag queen. So you're saying that the whole diversity thing, you're putting diversity over qualification.
Exactly.
So no matter how experienced the pilot is, you're going to put him up there because that pilot's black or trans,
or he's a woman, or she's whatever, a woman, or she's trans. Yeah. Exactly.
And that again goes to my point of, I really don't care who they are, what they do in the bedroom.
No one does.
As long as they are qualified to fly a plane. I mean, you're dealing with lives here. It's no joke, I mean, like a Sports Illustrator, and even Sports Illustrated, like when they do that stuff, and Disney and all these people, and they lose money, like there's people's livelihoods at stake here. There's writers, there's journos, there's actors, there's producers, wardrobe. If you're in the movie industry, wardrobe.
It's a massive industry.
Yeah. That rely on this income, and you're basically destroying it for them. And but hey, Mark, you can't say anything, eh? You can't.
Yeah.
Because then you're transphobic.
It's racist.
Or racist.
Yes, you're transphobe, you're a racist, or you're a sexist.
Yeah, we've been called bigoted, we've been called racist, we've been called transphobes, we've been called what else? Settlers.
Settler, colonizers. But I mean, but my point is, and this is what I tried to like ask you earlier. Like, I don't understand. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the sort of the crypto phase. Like I remember, like back in 2014, 15, where these ICOs, all these crypto, everybody's just going like, "Oh, this new coin, and I'm going to invest everything. I'm going to go borrow money. I'm taking my credit card." It's like, this is what these people, the journalists who are doing it, they're working for this company. Like, I'm going to write another story. This is going to be my 7 millionth story about something to do with LGBT something, and then it's going to get traction. And then, like people are going to hate it. And it's got like this, it's fake. People aren't even reading it. It's just getting fake views.
Yeah.
Like basically Twitter, that's getting fake views and going, but people are eventually, they're like, oh, look, our marketing is great. Like a social media, we got 70,000 clicks, but nobody's subscribing anymore. Nobody's actually reading, going to your website. Nobody's watching your movie because people aren't interested. And it's like, this craze is now dying down. Like either you have to adapt and like go like, create content that the readers want to read, but you're not. It's this fake thing, and this is the problem I think maybe with social media, where it's like it's this fake sort of popularity about your article. It's like, I hate it. Like there's two sides. We're going to write Trump sucks, and then everybody on the left are gonna they're gonna retweet it. Yeah, fuck Trump. He's an evil guy, and then everybody on the other side is gonna go, this sucks. But not a single person has clicked on the article. No one cares about the newspaper. It's the headline.
Yeah.
And people are losing their money and they're losing their jobs, and they're going but what did you think was going to happen? You're pushing an agenda. You're pushing a narrative.
No, 100%. And I think the reason why they keep doing it is just they're incentivized somehow. I don't know how, but they're just incentivized to keep doing it. They think, or I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they're scared of the minority and being canceled, but
but no, you're hitting on the right thing. It's like they can't say the opposite. It's almost like I'm trying to think of an analogy of this, but it's like the boy who cried wolf, and he kept crying wolf, and now you can't go, no, I've been lying, because you've caught up in this lie. They're just posting stuff about it. Now they can't go back because they created a.
Sorry, but you can't cancel
they've created
Disney,
a world. No, you can't. But for example, you've got these riders, right? And they've just been saying, so they're just repeating things that they like, the diversity stuff, the woke stuff. They've just been writing about this constantly. Let's use Trump as an example, right? Because Trump's a racist. He's the next Hitler. He's all these things, and they've been writing about for years. And eventually, people are going, okay, well, he's not really those things, because you can't just keep saying it. Now people aren't listening to you anymore. But now you've been saying it for so long, you can't go back and say I was wrong, because there goes your career. So you'll just carry on doing it until people go well, we're not going to buy this newspaper anymore, or we're not going to watch CNN anymore, and their ratings go. And which is what happened. And people just go, because I can't trust this thing anymore. And they go, now we got to fire 50% of our staff. And they're like, I never saw this coming. I was like, no, you did. You were talking shit the entire time. What do you think happens? That's why you've got people like us, not that we're doing billions of views, but you've got alternative media, because people are going listen, I'm going to put something out and I'm going to give my opinion about it. I don't have to read the New York Times or watch CNN or everyone, or the main media. There's so much alternative. People are not even starved for choice. Choice is at the fingertips. There's how many YouTube channels are there?
Like you just said, also I don't trust CNN anymore. I don't trust any mainstream or corporate media anymore. There is one, it's not. Yeah, I guess it is corporate media, but they're not as big as
what is
corporate media? The Daily Friend.
But that's the thing. It's people who care about the thing is that whole vibe of truth. When I read their articles, it's about, I want to give you truth, whether someone reads it or not. I'm not trying to write something. I'm not trying to create content that's going to get clicks and ad revenue.
Exactly.
And you can almost see the difference in it. Look at News 24. Look at the articles that on Twitter that just do amazing. It's the ones that have anything to do with race.
Yeah, no,
it's the race. They are incentivized to post stuff on that. A race incident happens. Some guy maybe said a naughty word to a child, and it's a racist man. They don't give a fuck. Their lawyers will retract it, but they've made so much money on that little clickbait and the ad revenue on that. They don't care. It's who gives a shit? It'll go away tomorrow.
Well, speaking of Trump, our final topic for this episode, ladies and gents, big things are happening in the States for those of you who might be interested. DeSantis drops out of presidential race and backs Trump.
When did this happen? Today?
Yesterday or today, yeah. This is 16 hours
Sorry,
ago.
this is pre-recorded, in case you don't know.
16 hours ago at the time of recording this. And I was gutted, man, because I was gonna vote for this guy. I was rooting.
DeSantis.
Yeah, for Ron DeSantis. He's done a lot of great things in Florida.
Yeah.
And I was really rooting for this guy, and he just drops out. He's like, I'm done. It's it's over. And then he backs Trump. And
but it is a numbers thing, right?
Probably. Look, I'm not following in detail what's going on. If I'm honest, because the exciting part's always the final candidate, right? So once there's a lady, I forget her name.
I know.
Nikki Haley.
Liz Warren 2.0. No, you're right.
Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is Mr. Trump's last remaining challenger. And she was the only one, in quotation marks, able to beat U.S. President Joe Biden.
But you should see what she said today. I saw this. She said that she's actually a person of color, even though she's white. She pulled a Liz Warren where she's like, oh no, well, I was trying to join a pageant when I was younger, and then they said I wasn't the right color. Like, what? And she's just being slated all over the internet today because she's like she's Liz Warren 2.0, Pocahontas version 2. I mean, I must say, at like one stage, I was kind of like, I kind of dug Ron DeSantis. Not that, again, like, I'm a South African, I know very little about American politics, and especially with this one, I haven't been following that much along. I like what he did with like the whole Disney thing, because I'm in movies and stuff. And then I kind of stopped, paying attention. But when I did see, what's that other guy, Vivek? Like, some of his like things I've seen in a couple of his speeches, and I was like, I've
been told that he's just pandering. It's not.
No, but I just like, you know what I liked about it? I liked his like sort of his on the fly vibe when he's doing a speech and then somebody pops up, asks him a question, and he has an answer for it, or he can have it's not like, like have to remove this person.
Yeah.
He literally goes, okay, cool, great question. Let me try and answer that. This is what I think. This is what I feel. I was going, wow, I don't see politicians do that. That's kind of a Trump thing where you just like that honesty, that sort of, oh, Trump's honest. Like, yeah, he's straight up. You know where you stand with him.
He's honest like a businessman because he's got a business background.
Yeah, exactly.
This is interesting. The Florida governor, DeSantis, the Florida governor said he was endorsing Mr. Trump, who is the clear front runner after winning the first contest in Iowa with 51% of the vote, which sounds like a lot, but it's 51%.
Yeah.
Mr. DeSantis said it had become clear that the majority of Republican voters want to give Donald Trump another chance.
Oh, I really hope he does.
He acknowledged disagreements with the former president because they had a bit of a tiff, but said Mr. Trump was superior to Mr. Biden, who is almost certain to be the Democratic nominee in November's general election. So the Democrats are going through their own run. Okay, so.
I mean, I just want to say one thing. It's just like, I wonder if anybody's going to come out going like, we were kind of wrong about Biden. Do you really still believe Biden was better than Trump?
There are
like the Walking Dead.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are
Bernie's.
I am seeing.
I've seen a few people.
Yeah, I am seeing a few people coming out saying like, not that they made a mistake, but
yeah, but they're saying I should have voted for this dude.
Yeah, Biden.
I didn't see this coming, even though everybody said it, but
yeah.
I think he's woken up. I think I wouldn't say he split the Democratic Party, but I think he's like, a lot of people have gone like, oh shit. And I think a lot of people maybe voted again. I'm not American. I don't know what the atmosphere is like, but I think a lot of people did it, especially on the Democratic side, was like anything but Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. You said, wow, Joe, you look tired. It's because I don't know if I'm ready for another Trump. I don't know if I'm ready for Trump to be president again. Because the first round, the Trump deranged syndrome was intense.
Dude. Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. President Obama.
It was
very intense.
It really tires you out. And although I enjoy pissing off the left, I enjoy pissing off the wokies, I enjoy the leftist tears, and I enjoy the wokies tears, and I still instigate every now and again. It's and we could go on and debate whether Trump was good for America or not. I think we've seen that he was at least better than Biden. It's that Trump derangement because it seeps into every corner of the world, and you start to feel. I mean, you mentioned before we went into recording, or I can't remember if it was during the episode, but I won't mention names. But you mentioned a friend that supports Trump, but is so scared of even saying that, and I was there a few years ago when I started to like notice Trump and like, okay, well, maybe he's not that bad. And I started to have discussions about Trump with Americans and understanding more of what he's doing. and seeing how the media was lying about him. They still lie about him. And, I was like, okay, well, then I like Trump, and as an American, I have a right to like him.
Of course.
But I couldn't tell anyone that. I couldn't like have a discussion, and I was
Because
ridiculed.
that's how hectic that arrangement was. It was like you couldn't
You
say
were
it. It's
automatically seen as evil. You were automatically seen. Doesn't matter what you've done in your life. You could have been I could have been like a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I could have saved hundreds of kittens in a week. Okay. The fact that I supported Trump made me the villain. I could have fed millions of starving African children in a day, but the fact that I supported Trump would have made me in certain people's eyes a racist. And you know what? Here's the truth of the matter. Yeah, if I was in America, I probably would have voted for Trump. The truth is, I never voted. I didn't get the chance. And there were questions asked me at the time in when was he elected?
2016.
Yeah.
2015, 2016. 2016, 2017.
No, the re-election. So 2020. They were asking, I was being asked on my channel, like, well, gun to your head if you had to choose Biden or Trump. And I said Trump. And that actually caused one of my closest friends to basically disown me.
What?
Yeah. Purely on that. Even though I've known that guy for 10 years. 10 fucking years. And I emceed his wedding. That's how bad the Trump deranged syndrome was. And still is to a certain degree. And that's what I'm not looking forward to. I don't live in the States. I don't know how Trump will do. He might do good. He might not do good. I don't know. I'm not ready for that world again. I'm scared of it, to be honest. And listen, if he does become president, I will probably instigate a little bit, and I probably will, wear the hat again and piss off a few people. Because it's funny to me, but at the same time, I'm just not ready for it. Because you especially here, man. Like I got crucified for not even tweet. I think I tweeted him once, and I tweeted or retweeted a journalist talking about the media lying about Trump. So it wasn't even a Trump tweet, and I got messages from people like, "What are you? Are you a Trump supporter? How dare you, man? How could you?" I don't even get as much hate when I talk about farm murders. Okay, you know how much people hate when you talk about farm murders in South Africa. It's worse if I talk about Trump. That's how bad it is, and I'm not going to be silenced. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to cower. I will openly talk about Trump. I usually follow the elections when there's the final two candidates. And we'll take it from there, and I'll keep a close eye on things, and I'll probably support Trump. I'm definitely not going to support Biden. So yeah, there probably will come hate my way. But I'll say it again. I've said it before. Just because I voted for some politician that's on the other side of the world does not dictate or determine who I am as a person. I'm far more complex than just putting me in a box. There are things I don't agree with Trump about.
No, of course.
So yeah. Anyway, that's where I stand.
To give you my 2 cents on it, the only reason I was fond of Trump was because following American politics. I think I got into it 9/11, where I'm going, I'm a conspiracy, not sure, isn't it? And when Trump comes along, it's the first time in my life I've seen the media react like that to a candidate.
100%.
And I was going like this, and the sort of conspiracy in me went this conspiracy side of me went what radar's up? What in the hell is going on? I've never seen people lose it so much. And I was going because I've always thought the American form of democracy, or the American government, they're corrupt. They're both sides. It's these two parties. The one is good, and then I think they're both corrupt as balls. Here comes someone who's a complete outsider, And never in my life have I seen somebody receive so much vitriol from the media. I mean, it's just outright lie upon lie upon lie upon lie. And then they have the audacity to go like, well, he just lies. And like, yes, 1,000 times he lied. And we're going, but every single thing from, again, looking back now, remember Russiagate, every single thing. Has he been charged for insurrection yet? No, he hasn't. But they'll still carry on with that. It's insane how people lost their minds. I went looking at this going, no, I think this guy's going to do something different. He's going to break the system. And I was like, yeah, cool. If I was an American, I'd totally vote for him. I think I had 2 people unfriend me, like friends from, not unfriend me, like literally just unfollowed me, stopped being friends with me. I haven't talked to these people since, I think, 2016, just because I made 1 or 2 tweets where I went like, oh shit, this guy, they absolutely lost their marbles.
Yeah.
Because how can I say, oh, maybe he's better for the system than this. He's going to break the system. There's something up with that. People lost it. And that was a good example of going, okay, but maybe you shouldn't be my friend then if you're going to judge me, just be going, I like this person. It's like, imagine going, like hating someone, unfriending them because they liked, Rise of Skywalker. I mean, are you insane? The insane person in the room is you, not me.
Exactly.
Me going, I like this color. You're going, how dare you like the color red? Fuck you, die, unfriend. I hope your family gets murdered. Like, are you crazy? Like, what's wrong with you?
But this is also, in my opinion, a problem with also American politics is like they go through this election run, right? And for example, DeSantis, right? I would have voted for him. And there's probably a lot of people who don't like DeSantis and would have hated on me for voting for DeSantis. But a lot of people wouldn't have cared in South Africa and across the world. Like nobody would have cared if I voted for DeSantis. And this is the problem, I think, with the American system is like you get to one candidate for each party through the system or whatever. I would have loved for DeSantis to have maybe his own party. Maybe he would win, maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. But then again, if you have a multi-party system, you have the same problem as South Africa where there's way too many parties. So on the one hand, there's pros and cons to both sides. But my point is like, and I will stand by this all the time, and I've said it before in the previous elections, Trump and Biden cannot be the best at what America has to offer.
No, of course not.
And for some reason, they're the final candidates, whatever. But I don't like either of them. But if I had to choose, I'm going to choose Trump. Because we've now seen, and this is the beauty of the current elections now, which is why it's going to be very interesting. We've seen Trump as a president, and we've seen Biden as a president now. So this is really going to be an interesting election.
Of course. I mean, but my like, the only question I have for example, for people in America, like, American voters, like now that you've seen how the media has reacted, how people have reacted, how the do you see the power of for example, the Democratic Party when you push them too far, when they're like, they will go all out. And this is the kind of thing. I'm not American. I didn't have a car in the race. I couldn't give a shit if Biden won or if Hillary won. I couldn't care. To me, it was like, I think your system, your entire government is corrupt. And here's a guy that's going to break it apart. And the way people reacted, like every single the court cases, like, have you not step back and just look for 1 second and go like, holy shit, this is how they react to somebody? And what is your argument? Well, he was almost like Hitler. It's like, did he do anything like Hitler? Like, I remember the beginning, like, as soon as he gets those buttons, he's going to nuke Russia. I was like, how many wars happened while Trump was in power? Wait, 0. How many wars are carrying on right now? Well, like, there's 3-4 wars. Like, are you joking?
Yep.
Like, you look back and just go like, maybe just rethink your position. You're going like, is this really what you wanted? Like this. It's insane to me. It's really just, I don't know.
I second that. And people forget a lot about what Trump did, the good things that he did, because again, the media masks it, and the media did such a great job. I mean, they made such a big deal of him going and taking a photo with a Bible in front of a church. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
So one of the things that made me realize the media lies about Trump and has this aggressive push to make him look bad is when there was that whole he wanted to take a picture of the Bible in front of a church or something like that, and there was protesters or whatever. I think it was during the BLM or whatever, the BLM riots or whatever. And they had this woman being interviewed on CNN. I think she's a reverend or something, whatever. And while she's talking, they're showing clips of the protest, and there was riot police there and stuff like that. Also trying, I think, to make it look like Trump was there, but he really wasn't. Anyway, if you watch the clip that they're showing, look at how the people are moving. They're almost jittery, like.
That's totally for like that's like, I mean, they're using this to push a certain narrative.
Exactly.
It looks worse than what it is.
The video was tampered with. It was fast forwarded to look more dramatic. Also because it's like I think it was like a helicopter, so it's shaky and it's like, but you can see like and just the way the camera moves sometimes really fast. Look at the canisters being thrown. No one has that good of a baseball hand. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it was fast forwarded at least by maybe 1.5, 2, just to make it look more dramatic. When I saw that, I was like, oh my word, you guys really, there's no shame. There's no shame to make this guy look bad. And that's when that was the day I didn't trust anything that the media said about Trump ever. Every time they said something, I would check it myself.
Exactly. It's like every time Trump said this and it means this, and going like, he's dog whistling. I'm like, wait, so you're Professor Xavier, you're from the X-Men, you can read his mind. This is what he means. He hates the black people. Like, when did he say that? No, well, he means it by this. Like, no, you didn't say that. And every angle that CNN, well, he didn't say the things he didn't say speaks a lot. I'm like, what? He didn't say something, therefore that means like, what the fuck? What? Oh my God, like the media, that was like the way they just, I don't know, just completely lost their marbles with Trump. It was like, I was going like, wow, the entire media and the politics and everything are completely independent. And then Hollywood stepped in and going, oh, like, those things where they would stand up and going, well, I just want to say one thing, we don't need a dictator like Trump. Like, what dictating has he done? Still waiting.
No, and you're right. Like I was just gonna mention that the Hollywood, how you had I had Hollywood making videos. Will and Grace came together to make an episode about voting. I don't know if you remember that.
Dude, Jesus. It was cringe.
Like,
how is it possible that Donald Trump is a nominee for president of the United States?
Make America bueno again!
Katy Perry likes Hillary.
And bingo was her name out.
All of it was cringe.
And to your point, have you ever seen such a magnitude effort to influence people to believe a certain narrative? I mean, Hollywood is involved. Every corporate media was involved. Everybody. It's almost like the spicy cough situation.
Yeah, no. I was literally going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of the earliest ones to me was like that just took the cake, was where he went like, I'm going to build a wall and keep the immigrants out. And everyone like, oh, he's racist. And then there was an interview where he goes like, are you racist, Mr. Trump? Do you hate? It's like, no. Illegal immigrants. I'm 100% for. I want illegal immigrants to stay out, and I want legal immigrants. Legal immigrants are welcome. Half our country, illegal immigrants. If you want to come to America, do it legally. And it's like, there we go. Like, no, but he's racist. He hates immigrants. But he can't. He just said he doesn't. No. He actually, what he means is, I can read his mind. I know he's racist. I'm like, are you fucking like? I couldn't. I honestly couldn't. It was like it highlighted how indoctrinated people could be by media. And it's the first time I've seen it. I was just like sitting there going, this isn't real. And it was like the spicy cough. Like I couldn't believe just normal things, people going like, I couldn't. I was just, oh my God, okay, just shut up. Can't say a single thing. People are going to go like, oh, you're a anti-vax nut. I'm going, no, I'm just asking questions. Like I'm against the government forcing me to do stuff. Wow. you're a conspiracy nut. Like, no, I just don't want the government. The same government who can't run ESCOM, those people, I don't think they should make decisions about healthcare. Oh, you're a conspiracy nut. Wait, did you just not link ESCOM, the government fucked, or everything's broken? 2 + 2, 4. Hello? No, you're a nut. I'm like, oh God, I can't. I just lobotomize yourself.
Lobotomize yourself. We kind of see the same thing here in South Africa with the whole Cape independence thing as well. People just assume things and narratives out there, like if you support that, then you're racist and blah blah blah. Which, by the way, spoke about Phil Craig earlier. I have reached out to Phil Craig. He said he would love to be on the podcast. So
cool, awesome.
Hopefully the next episode we'll have him on. I was just
dude, it's the first time we interview someone who's part of the, he's like part of the Illuminati. That would be rad.
Yeah, and
no, I'm kidding. Please
MI6,
don't flip this. He's
don't
not.
Forget MI6.
Oh yeah, he's part of MI6. Hey, basically, he's James Bond.
Yeah, he is.
Cool. We got to play I'm going to put the music on when we introduce him. This is what's Philip Craig? Craig.
Yeah,
what am I saying his name?
Craig. Phil Craig.
Philip.
It even works.
Phil Craig. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
I just wanted to say thank you. That was quite cool because having met him with you and you asking him a bunch of questions, the stuff I didn't know about, and it's wow, it's actually super libertarian, classic libertarian principles, and I'm quite down with that. Far more classical libertarian than the DA will ever be. I'm just going to put that out there.
And yeah, I think. Listen, I've hung out with Phil Craig. I know him very well. I've known him since they started, pretty much 3-4 years now. Crazy to think even that, because we basically got in contact during the lockdown. And that's when the whole movement really started to gain traction. He is a great guy. He's a genuine guy, and he's based, which is why he's going to be on the show. So he's very based. So yeah, that's something to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, and next month. Speaking of which, once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it far and wide, and check us out on Spotify and Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Sorry, and if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, come check us out on YouTube, where you get to see visuals and stuff that we've edited in to make you laugh or whatever. Which Mork puts a lot of effort into that, ladies and gentlemen. So you break his heart if you don't check it out.
Did I leave the stove on?
And also, other thing is, please don't forget that both myself and Joe have our own separate YouTube channels. Joe has the Joe Emilio show. Yep. Great stuff. That your news segments in the morning are amazing. It's I wake up and hey, cool, what's happening? I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. Fuck, God, the NC, not again. And then I do just random stuff whenever I get a chance. So come check us out. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Would appreciate it, and a subscribe. Show the love.
Yeah, show the love. If you want to know more details, links in the description below. And also, basically, I kind of try and have some humor with the news, and so does Mork. But what's nice is our sense of humor is different. He's very sarcastic, where I'm more comedic in a way.
I mean, you're a stand-up comedian. You're like a proper comedian.
Yeah. So
you're like a paid comedian. No one pays me for jokes.
Not even YouTube, unfortunately.
No, not even YouTube. Fuck YouTube.
All right. We hope you enjoyed the first episode for 2024. We'll see you guys soon. And yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Anything else I'm forgetting, Mork?
No, that's pretty much it. Hit us, follow. Oh, most important, please drop a comment. Give us your thoughts. Tell us what you think. Did you like this, or do you like the variety of topics we covered, or do you like the, maybe one topic? But I mean, this is the beginning of the year, so much has happened. So give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and
that's pretty much.
I think just also speaking about the whole one topic thing. I think there are going to be some episodes where it's just going to be one topic. There's going to be some episodes where there's going to be variety, but the one with Phil Craig is going to be a variety. I mean, we will talk heavily on Cape independence, but I also want to get to know Phil. I also want to get to
Yeah,
know what makes him tick and why
like
he
the
started
classical
this.
libertarian principles,
Yeah.
like those things. Like, what does he think about this?
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, thanks for watching, and as always, stay based. Cheers.